You are about to discover a key that can shift the way you think, feel, and act in every area of your life. This key is waiting for you to pick it up and unlock your true potential. Once you hear it, you can never go back to the person you were before. This audiobook is your invitation to awaken untapped strengths and step into a higher version of yourself. Before we begin, share in the comments where you're listening from and one thing you're having a hard time with regarding self-improvement. It's always inspiring to see people from all over the world working through similar challenges together. You can simply listen and let the words flow through you, or read along with the text on screen for a deeper, more focused experience. Let's begin. There is a question that has echoed in the minds of men and women since the dawn of consciousness. It is a quiet question, often drowned out by the noise of daily life. But it is persistent. It is this: is this all there is? You have heard it. In the quiet moment before sleep claims you, in the split second of silence after a task is completed, in the midst of a crowd where you still feel alone. That whisper, that subtle, nagging feeling that just beyond the horizon of your current life lies a vast, uncharted territory of potential, of joy, of achievement that is specifically and uniquely yours. Perhaps you have dismissed this feeling. You have told yourself it is a daydream, an impractical fantasy. You have looked at your responsibilities, your past, your current circumstances, and you have decided that the grand life, the real life, is for others, for the lucky, the gifted, the chosen few. I am here today to tell you, in no uncertain terms, that you are wrong. You are the chosen few. You were chosen the moment you were born with a mind capable of thought and a heart capable of desire. That whisper is not a taunt. It is a calling. It is the most important signal you will ever receive. And learning to listen to it, to trust it, and to act upon it is the single most critical skill you will ever develop. Consider the acorn. It is a small, unassuming thing. Yet, within it, locked in its genetic code, is the entire blueprint for a mighty oak tree. It does not struggle to become a rose or a daffodil. It does not question its purpose. It simply has within it everything it needs to become what it was designed to be, provided it finds the right soil, the right nourishment. You, listening to me now, are that acorn. Within you, right at this very moment, is the latent potential for a life of staggering achievement and profound fulfillment. You have a unique blueprint, a singular combination of talents, inclinations, and passions that, if allowed to grow, will result in a life that no one else can live. But here is the critical difference between you and the acorn. The acorn has no choice. It is subject entirely to its environment. You, however, possess the magnificent and terrifying gift of choice. You can choose your soil. You can choose your nourishment. You can, through the power of your own mind, decide to become the oak tree or remain the acorn. The world will not make this choice for you. In fact, the world, with its demands and distractions, will often seem determined to keep you in the shell. It is comfortable in the shell. It is safe, but it is dark, and it is cramped, and it is a fraction of what you are meant to be. This book is about making the choice to crack the shell. It is about understanding the mechanics of your own mind, the incredible creative power of your thoughts, and the practical steps you can take to move from where you are to where you feel, in your heart, you are destined to be. This is not about positive thinking. This is about proven principle. This is about the fundamental laws that govern achievement. As reliable as the law of gravity, you are about to learn the unused key, and when you do, your life will never be the same. Chapter 1. The Invisible Blueprint. Decoding Your Hidden Design. Every great structure begins not with a brick, but with a blueprint. Before the foundation is poured, before the first beam is raised, there exists a detailed, meticulous plan. This plan dictates every dimension, every material, every outcome. For too long, you have been trying to build your life by looking at the buildings around you, copying a window from one, a door from another, hoping it will all come together. It never does. Because you have been building without consulting your own blueprint. Today, We change that. Today, we pull the dusty, forgotten rolls of parchment from the vault of your mind and learn to read the magnificent design that has been there all along. Your blueprint is not written in ink. It is written in desire. The things you are naturally drawn to, the activities that make you lose track of time, the problems you feel compelled to solve, the skills you yearn to master, these are not random. They are the annotations on your blueprint. They are the clues to your purpose. When you were a child, these clues were bright and clear. You knew what you loved. But as life progressed, you were told to be practical. You were told to be realistic. You were told to put away childish things. And in doing so, you were encouraged to ignore the very instructions for your own construction. You started building a life that looked good on the outside, perhaps, but felt hollow on the inside, because it was not your design. It was someone else's. I want you to do something with me, right now. In your mind, I want you to ask yourself a question. Do not answer it quickly. Let it sit. The question is this: if I had all the money, time, and resources in the world, and success was guaranteed, what would I choose to do with my life? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Do not dismiss it. Do not edit it. That fleeting thought, that sudden image, that is a direct transmission from your core self. That is a glimpse of the blueprint. It is your authentic desire speaking before the voice of doubt has a chance to interrupt. This is the part of you that knows the grand plan. Your blueprint is also written in your unique talents. You have them. Everyone does. They may not be the talents of a concert pianist or a Nobel-winning scientist. They may be the talent for listening, for organizing, for encouraging, for fixing, for explaining complex things simply. These are not minor things. They are the specific tools you have been given to build your particular masterpiece. The world does not need 1,000,000 copies of one successful person. It needs you, fully realized, operating at the peak of your own unique abilities. When you align your life with your innate talents, work ceases to be labor and becomes a form of expression. It becomes a joy. You must understand this. Your blueprint is not a fixed, rigid destiny. It is a dynamic potential. It is the outline of the finest, strongest, most beautiful version of yourself. It is the life you are capable of living if you have the courage to build according to your own plan. The rest of this book will give you the tools and the materials. But first, you must believe the blueprint is real. You must believe that you are the architect of a destiny far greater than your current circumstances suggest. You are not here by accident. You are here with a purpose, and that purpose is written on your heart. It is time to start reading it. Chapter 2. The Mind's Fertile Soil. Planting the Seeds of Your Future. Your mind is not a static container. It is a living, breathing, fertile field. At this very moment, seeds are being planted in it. Every thought you think, every idea you entertain, every piece of information you consume is a seed. And just like in any field, whatever seeds you plant and nurture will inevitably grow. You cannot plant seeds of lack and expect a harvest of abundance. You cannot plant seeds of fear and expect a harvest of confidence. The quality of your life, at this very moment, is a direct reflection of the seeds you have been planting in the past. And the life you will live tomorrow is being determined by the seeds you are planting today. This is not a metaphor. This is a law. Look around you at your current life. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your career, all of it is the harvest from the seeds you have sown in the soil of your mind. If you see weeds of debt, it is because you planted seeds of financial carelessness or doubt. If you see a stunted crop in your career, it is because you planted seeds of procrastination or a belief in your own limitations. This is not a cause for blame or regret. This is a cause for the most tremendous hope you have ever felt. Because if your current reality is the result of the seeds you planted, then your future reality is entirely within your control. You are the gardener of your own destiny. You hold the seed bag. I want you to think about the thoughts you have allowed to take root in your mind. What is the dominant conversation you have with yourself? Is it one of encouragement, of possibility, of faith, or is it one of criticism, of worry, of I can't? You must become the vigilant gatekeeper of your own mind. You would not allow a stranger to come into your garden and throw weed seeds everywhere. Yet, every day, you may be allowing negative influences, pessimistic people, and fear-based media to do exactly that. You must protect your mental soil. This is your most sacred duty. It is the primary work of building a better life. From this moment forward, you must become intentional about what you plant. Every morning, when you first awaken, you have a pristine field. You have the opportunity to plant the seeds for the day you want to have. Do not let the world plant them for you. Before you check the news, before you look at your phone, plant a seed of gratitude. Plant a seed of purpose. Plant a seed of a specific goal you intend to achieve. Water it with your attention and your faith throughout the day. This is how you take control. This is how you stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the creator of them. Your mind is the most powerful force you will ever command. It is time to command it with purpose. The harvest you will reap will be magnificent. Chapter 3. The Compass of Conviction. Navigating by your inner North Star. In the great ocean of life, without a compass, you are at the mercy of the winds and the currents. You will drift. You will be taken to places you never intended to go. Many people live their entire lives in a state of drift. They are pushed by social pressures, pulled by fleeting desires, and tossed by storms of circumstance. They end up on a shore they do not recognize, wondering how they got there. You have felt this drift. But within you, you possess a compass. It is your inner conviction, your core values, your personal truth. This is your North Star. And when you learn to navigate by it, you will never be lost again. Your North Star is not your goals. Goals are specific destinations you want to reach. Your North Star is the direction you want your life to take. It is defined by what you fundamentally believe to be true, good, and important. Is it integrity? Is it service? Is it creativity? Is it freedom? Is it knowledge? Your North Star is the set of principles that, even if you were the last person on earth, you would still uphold. When you make decisions aligned with this internal compass, you feel a sense of rightness, even if the decision is difficult. When you act against it, you feel a deep, gnawing dissonance, even if the action brings you temporary pleasure or profit. Most people never take the time to define their North Star. They adopt the values of their parents, their peers, or their culture without ever questioning if they are truly their own. Then they wonder why, after achieving what society told them to achieve, they feel so empty. They reached the destination, but they sailed in the wrong direction. You must do the work of defining your coordinates. Ask yourself, what are the 3 to 5 principles that are non-negotiable for me? What would I defend, even at great cost to myself? Write them down. Carve them into your heart. These are the fixed points in your sky. From this day forward, let this compass guide every significant decision you make. When faced with a choice, from a career change to a personal relationship, ask this simple, powerful question. Does this move me closer to, or further from, my North Star? The answer will provide a clarity that cuts through all confusion and fear. It will make the path forward obvious. It may not be the easy path, but it will be the right path for you. And there is no greater source of confidence and peace than knowing, with absolute certainty, that you are on your true course. You are the captain of your ship. Trust your compass. Set your sails, and sail with conviction toward the life you were meant to lead. Chapter 4. The Alchemy of Action. Transforming thought into tangible reality. A thought, no matter how powerful, is potential energy. It is like steam in a boiler. It contains immense power, but until it is channeled, until it is harnessed to a piston and a drive wheel, it accomplishes nothing. The bridge between the world of thought and the world of reality is action. Consistent, purposeful, determined action. This is the alchemy that all high achievers have mastered. They understand that dreams are the blueprints, but action is the hammer and the nail. They know that the universe does not reward you for what you know. It rewards you for what you do with what you know. You have had brilliant ideas. You have felt the spark of inspiration. What happened to them? For most, that spark dies, smothered by the blanket of someday. Someday, I'll start that business. Someday, I'll get in shape. Someday, I'll write that book. Someday is a thief. It is a mythical land where dreams go to die. The only time that is real is now. The only action that counts is the one you take today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. A single, small, decisive action taken now is worth more than a grand plan for a future that never arrives. I want you to think of the one thing you have been putting off. The one project, the one conversation, the one habit you know would change your life if you just started. What is the very first, tiny, almost insignificant step you could take? It does not have to be the whole journey. It just has to be the first foot out the door. I want you to make a commitment to yourself, right now, that you will take that step within the next 24 hours. Do not think about step 2 or step 10. Just focus on step 1. The moment you take that action, you have set the alchemical process in motion. You have sent a message to the universe, and more importantly, to your own mind, that you are serious. You have moved from a passive dreamer to an active creator. Momentum is a physical law, and it applies to your life. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. You must overcome the initial inertia. The first action is the hardest. But with each subsequent action, the momentum builds. What seemed difficult becomes easier. What seemed distant draws nearer. You will begin to attract resources, people, and opportunities that align with your motion. The universe bends toward those who are in motion. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time does not exist. There is only now. Pick up your hammer, strike the nail, and watch as the blueprint of your dreams begins to rise, solid and real, in the world around you. Chapter 5. The Resilience Reservoir. Building an Unshakable Core. No voyage is without its storms. No construction is without its delays. To believe otherwise is to set yourself up for despair. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who abandon them is rarely talent or luck. It is resilience. It is the depth of your inner reservoir of strength, the ability to withstand the setbacks, the criticisms, and the failures without allowing them to break your spirit. This reservoir is not something you are born with. It is something you build, deliberately, day by day, through practice and perspective. It is what allows you to be bent by the winds of adversity without ever being broken. You must understand that failure is not an event. It is information. It is not a verdict on your potential. It is feedback on your method. When a child is learning to walk, it falls down dozens, hundreds of times. It does not lie on the floor and decide, well, I guess I'm not a walker. It uses the feedback from the fall, the pain, the imbalance to adjust its approach. It tries again. You must adopt the same mindset. Every setback, every mistake, is a lesson wrapped in a challenge. Your job is to unwrap it, find the lesson, and apply it. This is how you build resilience. You stop fearing failure and start leveraging it. Let me speak directly to you about your past. You have experienced pain. You have faced disappointment. You carry scars. You may see these as weaknesses, as evidence of your fragility. I want you to see them for what they truly are. The layers of your resilience. A muscle that has never been worked is weak. A muscle that has been stressed and has healed is strong. Your past struggles have given you a strength you do not yet fully appreciate. They have given you empathy, wisdom, and a perspective that those with an easy life can never possess. Do not regret your storms. They taught you how to sail. From today, begin to consciously fill your resilience reservoir. Feed your mind with stories of overcoming. The biographies of great men and women are not catalogs of unbroken success. They are records of magnificent comebacks. Spend time with people who encourage you, who believe in you, who remind you of your strength when you forget. Most importantly, practice perseverance in small things. Finish what you start, even when you don't feel like it. Get up early when you want to sleep in. Choose the healthy option when the easy one calls. Each small act of discipline is a deposit into your reservoir, and when the great tests come, as they surely will, you will find you have a deep, cool, unshakable well of strength to draw from. You will not be shaken. You will stand firm. Chapter 6. The Magnetism of Mastery. Becoming the person you seek to be. You are a living magnet. You are constantly attracting into your life the people, circumstances, and opportunities that are in harmony with the person you have become. This is not a mystical fantasy. It is a law of human nature. People are drawn to competence, to passion, to integrity. Opportunities flow toward those who have prepared themselves to receive them. If you want a better life, you must become a better person. You must become, in your character and your competence, the match for the things you desire. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Think about the goals you have set for yourself. Now, think with brutal honesty about the person you are today. Are you a perfect match for that goal? If your goal is financial abundance, are you thinking and acting like a person who is capable of managing and growing wealth? If your goal is a loving, supportive relationship, are you being a loving, supportive person? If your goal is a position of leadership, are you developing the skills, the judgment, and the character of a leader? Too often, we focus on wanting the external reward without undertaking the internal work required to hold it. We want the harvest without tending the soil. The path to mastery is the path of continuous improvement. It is a dedication to becoming 1% better every single day in the areas that matter most to your goal. It is reading the books, practicing the skill, honing the craft, and strengthening the character. It is a quiet, persistent dedication to your own growth. And as you do this, a shift occurs. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with more authority because you have done the work. You make decisions with more confidence because you trust your cultivated judgment. This inner change is palpable. People sense it. Opportunities sense it. You must fall in love with the process of becoming. The goal is the destination, but the journey is your life. Embrace the study. Embrace the practice. Embrace the small, daily disciplines. Do not do it for the external reward alone. Do it for the person you are becoming in the process. That person, the more skilled, more disciplined, more knowledgeable, more integrated version of you, is the true prize. And this person, this master of their own craft and character, becomes a powerful magnet for success. The world makes way for the man or woman who knows where they are going and has prepared themselves thoroughly for the journey. Become that person. The rest will follow. Chapter 7. The Generosity Gene, the unexpected catalyst for abundance. There is a fundamental law of the universe that is often misunderstood. To have more, you must first give more. This seems counterintuitive. The logical mind says, if I give something away, I will have less. But this logic applies only to finite, physical resources. It does not apply to the infinite resources of the human spirit, ideas, kindness, encouragement, and service. The more you give of these, the more you have. Generosity is not the loss of a resource, it is the planting of a seed, and the harvest it returns to you is always greater than the seed itself. Consider a stream. If a stream only takes in water and never gives it out, it becomes a stagnant pond. It grows foul and lifeless, but a stream that freely flows, that gives its water to the fields and the rivers downstream, remains fresh and clear and vibrant. It is constantly replenished from its source. You are like that stream. When you hoard your knowledge, your energy, your compassion, you stagnate. But when you freely give, you open a channel for more to flow into you. You become a conduit for abundance, and in that flow, you find your own vitality and prosperity. I am not speaking only of giving money. I am speaking of giving value. Give your full attention to the person speaking to you. Give your best effort to your work, even when no one is watching. Give a word of genuine encouragement to someone who is struggling. Share an idea that could help a colleague. Look for ways to be of service, to lighten another's load, without any immediate expectation of return. This attitude of giving shifts your entire focus from "what can I get" to "what can I contribute?" And this is a magnetic focus. People are drawn to those who add value to their lives. Opportunities flock to those who are known for their generosity of spirit. You will discover that the act of giving is its own reward. It connects you to your purpose. It affirms your own abundance. It makes you a force for good in the world. And as you become that force, you will find that the things you once chased, security, respect, prosperity, begin to chase you. The world gives its richest rewards, not to those who take the most, but to those who give the most. Open your hands, open your heart, give freely of your unique gifts. In doing so, you will not deplete yourself. You will activate the most powerful catalyst for abundance ever known. You will become a source, and sources never run dry. Chapter 8. The Clarity Catalyst. Cutting through the fog of distraction. We live in a world of unprecedented noise, a constant barrage of information, opinions, advertisements, and entertainment clamors for your attention. This noise creates a thick fog around your mind, obscuring your goals, clouding your judgment, and scattering your energy. To achieve anything of significance, you must learn to cut through this fog. You must cultivate a laser-like clarity about what you want and, just as importantly, what you are willing to ignore. Clarity is power. In the absence of clarity, the world will dictate your priorities. With clarity, you command your world. The first step to gaining clarity is to create silence. You must deliberately carve out periods of time, every single day, where you disconnect from the inputs and connect with your own thoughts. This is not a luxury, it is a necessity for strategic living. In these moments of quiet, you can hear the whisper of your inner compass again. You can review your blueprint. You can assess your progress. This is when the most important thinking gets done. This is when you decide what matters, rather than simply reacting to what is urgent. Start with just 10 minutes each morning. Sit in silence. Let your mind settle. Focus on your purpose. This practice will become your most valuable tool. With the space that silence creates, you can then bring razor-sharp focus to your goals. A goal that is vague is merely a wish. I want to be successful is a fog. I will increase my income by 20% in the next 12 months by mastering a new skill and taking on a leadership role in my department is clarity. I want to be healthy is a fog. I will lose 20 pounds in 6 months by walking 30 minutes a day and replacing my evening snack with a healthy alternative is clarity. Get specific. Write it down. Define what success looks like in vivid detail. The more precise your target, the more likely you are to hit it. Now, apply that same clarity to your daily actions. At the start of each day, ask yourself, what are the 1 to 3 most important things I can do today that will move me significantly toward my key goal? Write them down. Let them be your guiding stars for the day. Do not let the noise of emails, minor tasks, and other people's demands pull you off course. You must become ruthless in guarding your time and attention. Every time you resist a distraction and return to your prioritized task, you are strengthening your clarity muscle. You are cutting through the fog, and in that clear, bright air, you will find a sense of control and progress that is more satisfying than any temporary distraction. See your goal clearly. See your path clearly. And then, with unwavering focus, walk it. Chapter 9. The Legacy Lens. Living a life that outlasts you. One day, you will be gone from this earth. It is a certainty for every one of us. While this may seem like a somber thought, it is in fact the most liberating and clarifying perspective you can ever adopt. When you view your life through the lens of legacy, the trivial falls away, and the essential comes into sharp focus. You begin to ask not, what can I get? But what can I give? Not, how can I be successful? But how can I be significant? The legacy you leave is not written in your final will and testament. It is written in the hearts and minds of those you have touched. It is the sum total of the difference you made. Your legacy is being built today. It is built in the way you treat the cashier at the grocery store. It is built in the patience you show your children. It is built in the integrity you bring to your work. It is built in the encouragement you offer a friend, It is the echo of your character that will remain long after your voice is silent. Are you building an echo of kindness, of courage, of generosity, or are you building an echo of self-interest, of complaint, of fear? Every interaction is a brick in the monument of your life. Choose them with intention. I want you to project your mind forward, to the end of your long, fulfilling life. You are surrounded by your family, your friends, the people whose lives you have impacted. What are they saying about you? What do you hope they are saying? That you were honest? That you were a source of strength? That you believed in them when no one else did? That you made their world a little brighter, a little better? Write that down. That is your true goal. That is the target for your legacy. Now, work backwards. What kind of person do you need to become, starting today, to ensure that those words are spoken truthfully? What actions do you need to take? Living with a legacy lens infuses your daily life with profound meaning. The difficult conversation is no longer just an annoyance. It is an opportunity to build a bridge of understanding. The hard work is no longer just a grind. It is a contribution to something larger than yourself. The act of kindness is no longer just a nice gesture. It is a stone placed in the foundation of a better world. You begin to see yourself as a link in the great chain of humanity. You received a legacy from those who came before you of knowledge, of freedom, of love. Your sacred duty is to take that legacy, improve upon it, and pass it on. Do not just live for yourself. Live for the generations you will never meet, but who will be forever touched by the life you lived so well. Chapter 10. The Synthesis. Weaving your tapestry of triumph. You have now been given the threads. The golden thread of self-awareness from your blueprint. The strong, earthy thread of disciplined thought from your mental soil. The true, unwavering thread of your inner compass. The vibrant thread of decisive action. The resilient thread that withstands all tension. The magnetic thread of mastery. The generous thread that connects you to others. The clear, sharp thread of focused intention. And the eternal thread of legacy. Individually, each is powerful, but woven together, they create a tapestry of a life lived to its fullest potential, a life of triumph. This is not the end of your journey. It is the true beginning. Knowledge that is not applied is merely entertainment. The principles you have encountered here are not to be admired and then placed on a shelf. They are to be lived. They are to be practiced, day in and day out, until they become as natural to you as breathing. There will be days when you forget. There will be moments when you falter. This is not failure. This is part of the weaving process. The most beautiful tapestries have moments of contrast, of dark threads that make the bright ones shine even brighter. When you stumble, simply pick up the thread again. Remember who you are. Remember your blueprint. Remember your North Star. Your life is your masterpiece. No one else can weave this tapestry for you. It is your unique creation. Do not compare your half-finished work to the completed tapestry of another. You do not know what struggles, what knots, what tangles they had to overcome to create it. Focus on your own loom. Take joy in the process of creation itself. The gentle, consistent rhythm of the shuttle moving back and forth, that is the rhythm of your daily habits, your consistent actions. Over time, you will step back and see a pattern emerging. A pattern of beauty and strength and purpose that you could not see when you were focused on a single thread. You were chosen to hear this message for a reason. That feeling, that whisper, was the call to begin. You have answered. You have the unused key in your hand. The lock is before you. It is time to turn it. It is time to step across the threshold into the life you were always meant to live. A life of purpose. A life of passion. A life of profound peace and magnificent achievement. Go now and weave your tapestry. Make it a triumph. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can bring.